Good morning, good afternoon. I thought I wouldn't have to do this actually, but we have to. Mick Ruby here, Mufc Realist TV with Paul White with yet another update in regards to the sales takeover. Look, I'm going to pause this Neil Ashton spin. He's been gone mad, spinning his DJ plates regarding media stories. But you know what? We have to. This is our duty to do due diligence on media reports and rest assured all the bidders. It's not that, don't take me wrong. It's not that we don't want Sir Jim Ratcliffe or we don't want any good bidder is a good bidder for Manchester United, according to my opinion. But, you got to also do the due diligence in how things will be progressing after the purchase as well. So me personally, I've been keeping my powder dry. I looked at Ineos and the operation with Nice, the promises that been doing with the Nice club, speaking to their fans, hasn't really lived up to the expectations. And you can sort of put two and two together and say, how would you run Manchester United if you are successful? And clear and obvious for me, you need to have a little bit of a deeper funds to understand that football nowadays needs a little bit of a cash injection, definitely, especially with Manchester United. It's arguably to say that, we have enough operational funds to be sustainable by our own. But on the other hand, we've been robbed for the past 17 years. So we need a little bit of a cash injection in terms of clearing the debt, clearing the FFP, resetting the FFP, and also invest in the infrastructure like the training ground in Carrington and, possibly rebuild the stadium. But enough of me. I have Paul White in the background, just came in. We haven't spoken for some time as he's been doing his investigation himself. So we're here to sort of unpack certain things, bring it up to speed where we are today. So please, guys, enjoy the show. Smash a like if you want. It definitely helps. We are a community to help each other understand better, so you don't have to feel that motion sickness what they are spinning at the moment. So please enjoy and have a sip on your coffee, whatever you're drinking. I'm having a sip of my coffee because it's been relentless. But guys, see you in 15 seconds.
Has the Premier League ever been more challenging?
Right, welcome. I feel welcome. This is my home and I want to achieve success. Okay?
Very good afternoon, Mr. Paul White. Long time no speak. How are you, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. Very good afternoon to everybody.
Very good afternoon, everybody. What have you been up to since we last spoken? What's new? What's what you drinking at the moment?
Can we say?
Any?
What
can we say?
Monster. The sweet tooth is out.
We won. It's not Caribou, is it? We like the Caribou Cup.
Yeah. No, it's Monster. It's
espresso.
Sweeter.
Cannot have enough of these espresso. Paul, listen, buddy. I caught up with you briefly yesterday on Spaces. You've been busy. I've been busy. I have not been into Spaces, but it's been a sheer meltdown. My DMs is popping off. So I decided let's all get together. Let's just take it for what it is and just talk about this because we have to, right? We're talking about, of course, we're talking about the this one. Whoop. It came out on the Sun yesterday.
Before we go in and deep dive into this, the actual news that kind of completely makes this kind of talking about it in any depth kind of irrelevant is the article is still live, but the Sun have removed the tweets relating to the article. So you can't even go onto the Sun sports page. That shows you how wrong this information is. The fact that they've removed it from their timelines. And
hence my headline on my thumbnail, take it where the sun don't shine. And that's it. Sunrise or sundown, right? Pretty much. So, as it's our duty for our community as well, because Manchester United fans around the world are being deprived of what's really going on. And I think we've been trying to provide a platform and educational based on our findings, and we are here to sort of discuss and unpack it, and in our common way with using logic, sense, and reasoning. Now, should we just dive right into it, guys? Let us know in the comments. You're the VAR as well. You're equally part of this community as fans, right? Ideally as a fans, but also ideally as independent journalists and business analysis and everything, and the information that we've been getting from all around the world. We are here just to, uncover everything and call a spade a spade. That's what we do here. It's Realist TV. Paul, listen, let's dive right into it, mate. What do you take on this? What do you take on that? Hang on. I'm just going to pull it. This one. It caused a massive meltdown. I was doing a live podcast, having fun, doing Bold Trafford, and somebody just messaged me in the chat room, say, "Oh, Sir Jim is the preferred bidder according to the Sun." And I've gone immediately, instantly, like, we know that the Sun is kind of a little bit of a gossip magazine, and and when I looked at this article, it said pretty much the same thing as the others been doing with the 20% glazer, but it was just a different creative spin to it. Paul, instead of me ranting, talk. Take it away. What's your take on this?
Well, first of all, even in the article itself, as I say, the Sun have actually removed the link to the tweet. So that tells you one or two things. The article you can still bring up, but the actual links to the article are gone off their Twitter pages. They never put much faith in it, because I don't know, Mick, if you have the picture of the actual back page of the Sun as well.
I do.
It's a tiny, tiny little box.
Here's the thing, right?
It's under the Sun Sport.
Yeah. Usually
Danny Dyer gets more.
Yeah, I mean, basically, what if this was breaking news? Every Tom, Dick, and Harry news outlet would have jumped on it. It would be like, exploding. It would be a seismic event. And you turn the back page of the Sun, the biggest thing is about Declan Rice massively. And you look under the Sun Sports, right? Tiny, tiny little box. If you guys can see it, Jim in United boost. That tells you everything.
They actually don't even say in the article itself that they've been selected as the preferred bidder. What they said is the Glazers would prefer to sell to Sir Jim, but what they don't mention is they're talking about Joel and Avram. Yeah, of course they prefer to sell to Sir Jim. It makes sense for them, but it doesn't make sense to the other four.
Okay, let's dive into the finances. Why would it make sense for Joel and Avram? Like, I know the answer, of course, but for me, it does not make sense. Like, we talked about it so many times that, it's like being a potato farmer, right? You're planting the seeds, you've been giving a few seeds and you plant it. And based on the weather, based on the water, maybe 5 years you have a successful potato farm, but it's not a guarantee, right? Or as per 6 siblings, you've been giving 1 billion each to walk away, and endless of opportunities to do business, outside within Qatar itself, right? Does this make sense to you? I mean, this 20% thing?
It makes sense in a way of the way it's been structured. It's structured with pit and pull options and guaranteed premiums when they do sell. So they'll get a certain percentage over what the stock price is currently trading. The whole 3 year thing that people are touting, the Glazers will be gone in 3 years. That won't be the case if they don't get to that certain level. Yeah. So you could say they're looking at the moment to sell their shares at about $32 to $35 a share, depending on whose bid they go for. In maybe 5-10 years' time, United shares could be up around that $28, $30 a share.
Could be.
But Sir Jim is then offering to put a premium on top of that. So down the line, they could be getting the money. And it's almost the thing with the two brothers of they still want to be kind of around United. And it's another way to turn around. And I think to turn around and say to their siblings, see, look at all the money we've made by keeping money in United. If only you had only if you had listened to us beforehand. But that doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, it's money, and it's how quick you can do this deal. And everybody went wax lyrical about this whole Sir Jim deal in the first place. People need to understand one thing.
I think so too, because let's park that bus there. Like, we're not playing football. It's like Wolves were playing. They're probably going to park the bus over the weekend. But look, at the end of the day, you know, it does not add up. Like, even if you do a deal with the devil like that 20%, you still have to borrow the money, and then you still have to buy them out in 3 years' time. It's kind of like an installment plan. And they probably are not stupid. They will probably put in some astute clauses in the contract. So it will be very, very difficult. So why would you then keep them in and then raise another 2-3 billion to buy them out 3 years down the time? And it doesn't make sense. It does not. I think it's just basically pure media spin, in my opinion. And I covered this before. And before we go, allow me, because I want to backtrack in my latest podcast, because you've not been around. You've been doing your own thing. I've been doing my own investigation. So let's just play this little short clip. It's arguably fair to say that we have protested in so many ways, in so many shapes and forms. We have argued amongst each other, lost our ways. We have lost our ways, creating that great divide amongst each other. And this, my friends, is how the Glazers have won. This is how they stayed in control. On the other hand, they've been utilized media to even add on more fuel to the fire. Let me explain why. They are equally guilty, right? As they've been utilized as mouthpieces, spreading the Glazer propaganda PR, right? Making you believe certain things. We are in for this player. Well, we're not in for this player. You know what I mean? We are in for this, we're doing that. But this, one thing is clear. Glazers has never come out to speak in public. We hardly know. All we know is the money they're taking out the club. Who's coming out to speak to us fans? Nobody. You understand? For the past 18 years, the press has hardly written anything about how the Glazers has looted the club or allowing this to happen. There's been a few snippets here and there, but nothing much. Why? Ask yourself the question why. No, this is the important point. Ask yourself the question why, Paul. Are you listening? Here we go.
Oh, I am listening.
Because they want to retain the spot to continue getting that privileged information from the club sources as they have publications to sell. They are a business too. They have KPIs. KPIs, look it up. Key Performance Indexes. Some journalists are pressured by the chief editorials that you have to write stories. I don't care how you write it, use your creativity. You're a journalist, that's what I hired you for. There's no substance in today's stories, as people today read headlines. When you read the story, you get spin dizzy because it's a lot of writing, but little substance. Maybe that story should just be a headline. And I pause this screen because that's basically a clue that I left in my latest podcast. Paul, are you with me?
I am with you. Sorry.
Ground control to Major Tom. So basically, this little snippet is I left. It tells you everything that you need to know. Right? I don't know how many times I've tried to explain. People calm down, right? You choose to what you want to believe. We live in a social media world right now where people are dividing certain publications by trust and call them tiers, right? But at the end of the day, they also get it wrong. You know what I mean? And basically, what I've analyzed over the years is that, certain tier ones have been successful by getting the information from certain club sources within the club. But in this case, the Rain Group has been not leaking any information within the club. So why you see this sheer confusion, because if you just backtrack the tape and see what everyone's been writing, it's been conflicting stories. And what I wanted to say, that you are pressured by your bosses to write stories. This is what you're getting paid for, right? So when you read all these articles, it's pretty much the same format, recycling, but using a different creative flair, copy and paste, but using your own words. The Sun, on the other hand, when I read the articles, was pretty much the same with the, 20%, just a little bit slow sports news, but adding on that extra flavor to it, right? Would you agree with that, Paul, right? Just a little bit extra flavor, And similar, like they probably heard from somebody in the pub, or somebody told them something, and that's how you go with it, right? Similar to the transfer market, you can overhear somebody in the pub talking about, oh, we're in for Mbappe, and all of a sudden everyone's running with it, with sort of a gossip. So just take it with a pinch of salt, and always question the stories what you read, right? Is it clickbait? Is it true? Who should we trust? Who is to say that Fabrizio Romano is right because Fabrizio Romano is saying, or Ornstein, because they've been ranked as tier ones and stuff like that. But in this instance, it's been sports journalists writing those stories. So, Paul,
Yeah,
you're like
I
me.
would. Sports journalists, let's be face it, they can't even get the sports journalism part right of their main job. How do you expect them
Yeah,
to get the business side right? Like, these same sports journalists for like the last 18 months have been going on about how Jude Bellingham's going to Liverpool, how Klopp doesn't sign midfielders because they want Jude Bellingham and they're saving the money
yeah,
up. And then, lo and behold, Jude Bellingham's not going to Liverpool. So they
yeah.
can't get their transfer dealings right. How do you expect them to get a business deal right?
I mean, it seems to me that people have a short memory span nowadays, and I have a very good photographic memory. So that what I left on the screen is the real fact, in a way, because Joel and Avram, they went down to Qatar 100% over the World Cup. You can see that arrow there. Avram Glazer holds talks with potential investors in Qatar. You wouldn't just go down there to pimp up your own club. Obviously, Rain Group is there to sort of boost, to amplify it, right? They are there to market and create the shadow bidding. It's kind of an auction style bidding. It's the most unorthodox acquisition sell and acquisition that I've ever seen in my life, to be honest. But they've been doing it in a design way that's very astute, that you as a bidder don't know the figure, you don't know who it is, but this case, they read papers, so they know it's Sir Jim versus, or Ineos versus Qatar. And I've been trying to say this all along. As soon as the Rain Group got the bid, or it's like going fishing. As soon as Qatar took that bait, it was game over, because they knew, in my opinion, that they could extort as much money, because they know how much money Qatari has. Even if 92 Foundation is not a state backed, but still, we know that there's endless of money there as well, so comparing, like competing towards, if you have to compete, right? Let's say you're comparing those two bidders. We know how Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been running these, right? We know that most of his richness and wealth is tied into assets, right? We know that in order to construct this deal, he also said, I will not overpay. And then on the other hand, you see in the other manifesto that, Sir Jasim and wants 100% ownership, no BS, pretty much. That is very, very transparent. So me, as a fan, what I'm trying to say is I want what's best for the club, you know. So for me, I'm now more leaning towards 92% Qatar. I know. What's your thoughts process regarding this?
It's just starting to get with that much misinformation and all going
Yeah,
around.
I know.
It's so hard to just try and work out. Like, logic dictates it's going to be the guy that can put the most money on the table that gets it in the end.
That's it. That's it.
It's money talks at the end of the day, and it's not even how much money you can put on the table. It's once this deal is agreed, how quickly do I get my money? How
That's it.
quickly can we complete this thing? There's been many business articles about from Bloomberg and the Financial Times that have talked about the bidders have been asked the questions once a deal is agreed, how quickly can they complete the deal? The Glazers and the Rain Group want a clean transaction. They want it to be done quick. And at the end of the day, a full buy with cash person
Yep.
transaction one that makes sense.
It makes
So
sense, because
say
basically
Qatar.
what you're trying to say, you disappear there, but you have two bidders, right? One is offering a clean transaction, money straight away. The other one is offering installment plans, which is going to take forever and ever and ever, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. And sorry for hijacking you there, Paul, but I'm just so I had too many espressos, to be honest. But at the end of the day, Um, I would say that judging from the timeline, what we said, it's not a linear timeline. It's not bilinear. This is very unorthodox, where the system has been designed to get as much money as possible. I would say that they've been holding on and waiting until the deal is right, basically. How much money will I walk away with, in layman's term? Paul?
Yeah. Um,
if
I'm just thinking.
I
I'm
would say
just my
that,
head's just thinking of something there. I'm just thinking of a way to put this the most simplest way.
yeah, I'm
With
trying to do
just the
that.
cliche, money is money at the end of the day. I think the easiest way to say this is I believe Manchester United is Qataris as long as the Qataris want it. As long as
100%.
they want it, they can put the money on the table and take Sir Jim out. I don't want to guarantee it, and I don't want to say I have the insider
No,
knowledge of it, but
you,
it's just the most logical option. And it's just, I don't want to keep doing the back and forwards, back and forwards, back and
I don't want
forwards.
either. I hope this is the last
It's,
podcast. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I just literally,
it's just any news we get right now, a lot of the fact that the media considers putting out stuff about Sir Jim as the best clickbait shows that the majority of fans see Sir Jim as a negative option.
hmm,
That's why they're reporting on the Sir Jim. That's why they're reporting the Sir Jim involves the Glazers, because it's a negative reaction, and negative
yeah,
reactions increase clicks. And this has been in the media for years, in all parts of the media,
yeah.
not just in sports journalism.
We had a
Um,
gentleman in our space yesterday that works in trading and finance, stock trading, right? And he said it is common practice. We have dumb money and smart money that you will leak out stories for this to kind of, because stocks are based on speculation. So it's common practice that before close that leak out a story like this to lower down the price so the smart money can go in and buy huge volume of shares. You remember this, right? You were in the
Yeah, I
space
remember that. I'm
yesterday.
just I'm just laughing at a comment. Somebody says Spock says Qatar. It's only logical, and I love
Yeah.
that comment.
Yeah, no, I haven't had time. I have, I see I have 25 comments. I will go to you in the QA session, but literally just want to unpack everything. And I'm pretty much convinced from my end. Like, even you've been speaking to Phil Brown as well, and I also, but it's not. I'm like this, right? I believe it when I see it's been announced, to be honest. It is like that. And the only one that's going to announce it will be like basically formulating a statement from Rain Group with the Glazers, and it's going to be published probably. It's not going to be leaked out to the press, or it will be a press conference. We don't know. When the timeline comes, it will happen. But Paul, are you with me to see that it won't not be a problem, even if they make the deal? I'm just have a theory because when are the Glazers fast to release information? We've seen in the transfer market, they like to delay. And even Richard Arnold say, like, good delay in PR creates a lot of clicks and engagement. The deal can have been done and can be announced. Probably, maybe they don't want to disrupt the Premier League season, the players' mind, and, renounce it after we've finished the last game. Do you think that could be possible?
No, because of the way the process works with the Rain
Yeah.
Group. Once the Glazers have a deal on the table, when they're talking to one bidder and they've agreed the deal, they have legally, because the discussions with brokers or meetings are minuted. As soon as they have that deal
Yeah.
agreed, they have
Yeah.
14 days to report it to the SEC, because the longer you hold that information, the more risk somebody leaks it out and you can be done for insider
Yeah.
trading. So there is a
True.
time limit on it. What could be happening right now is another theory could be is there's not going to be a preferred bidder. There's not going to be an exclusive bidder.
No.
I don't even see how a period of exclusivity even works out in this sense, because you're not dealing with one entity to try and buy an object off them. You're
Correct.
dealing with 6 entities to buy objects off them.
Correct.
So I could even just see it of the Glazers going, both deals are grand.
Yep.
We'll talk about both deals, go back to the Rain Group and go, we're going to go with a Sir Jim deal, close, just close it, and then at that point, the Ream Group then does all the paperwork, hands the sheets to
Yep.
both parties, and they sign the deal.
Absolutely.
That could be the next announcement. Everybody's expecting to see who the exclusive bidder
No,
or
but
who your
I just think
preferred bidder is.
I just think the media is playing catch up. That's all I'm thinking, right? Because I'm, who's to know? Like, I have certain information, but I that I cannot share. Like, and the thing is, what I'm trying to say, that things can have been done already. It's just, like the director's fitting test, that has
Done.
already been submitted, done, dusted. So basically, you're ready, right? You're ready to race as soon as you sign the piece of paper. You're ready to take over the keys. That's what I'm trying to say. So therefore, I don't believe that exclusivity. I'm towing your line there. Like, I'm really towing your line that it's like Monopoly. Just go straight to go. If everyone has played Monopoly, right? You go straight to go, right? So, but this is my personal take, and and I'm glad to hear that you have the same analogy in thinking. Guys, this is just us discussing in between. Let me go to the VAR room, the comments. I've been getting a lot of questions as well during this week. And yeah, Jarvis, big up to you. Let's see. Jonathan Liljenberg, hi, Mick, and everyone else. Good. Hi, Jonathan. Good morning, good afternoon. Swedish. Yes, Swedish. I see. Jolly Malin from Norway. The Sun says Ratcliffe won, or do they? They knew it was true or not. It would be anyone else. Wow, Jolly, they actually deleted that comment, so we actually unpacked it. Yusuf, Habibi, Mick, how are you? Kif halak Yusuf, I'm alhamdulillah, I'm very good in all these languages where we have to practice. Jamie Wayne, Ratcliffe better not get us. I don't get Glazers Rat in charge. Now, Jamie, let me just address, like, we have to call a spade a spade. Like, it's not that we're against Sir Jim Ratcliffe, but we just have to look at, who will run the club better. I think that everyone wants to agree, and you can just go and see how Nice has been run in terms of how much money they put into the club. I think it was 200 million or something, right? 2 billion or something.
Yeah, it was rough, that.
And
It was
nothing has happened.
100 million.
Just been left there, right? So
they promised to bring in best in class and improve the footballing network at Nice. Nice had a very, very good working footballing network. They were getting a lot of young talent in, and Sir Jim brought his own people in, and they've started to fall apart.
Yeah, so you just acquired it. So yeah, I think Lancel Jr. still think a lot of people think it's Qatar. I'm going for a shisha in a little bit to relax. I get your point, mate. I get your point. Trust me, I would also like to go for a shisha, but instead we have to do this because we have to sort of dissect the Sun as well. Jonathan, again, I think even if Jim take over, I hope we invest huge, but I'm not sure of the future with him. Yeah, Paul, in terms of investment, what is needed? What is needed? Like, is it an open heart surgery? I mean, we need to sort of get rid of the squad. We need to clear the FFP. There is infrastructure to be invested in. In total, how much money would we need for the first 3 years in cash injection?
The biggest cash injection actually is the biggest cash injection is the infrastructure. You can put to the playing squad anyway because of financial fair play rules and everything like that. You're talking 10-year worth of investment of roughly anywhere between 2.5 to 3 billion pounds, because you're in the stadium and that, you're putting the training facilities into that, and a load of other stuff where the women play, the youth team set up, the academy itself needs a complete rework. So there's a lot of investment into infrastructure. Playing squad wise, yeah, we need a massive overhaul. We've got players that play for our team at the moment and it's still on the books from Fergie.
And they are
Ferguson left 10 years ago. Yeah, and that stuff needs sorted. But the only way to get that sorted, the only way to get it sorted is to put football first. And football has not been first at Manchester United for the last 18 years. Football is not first. Players are signed on the ability of how much money they bring in. Just to bring that one up as well, the Nice manager has been talking, because we were talking about Sir Jim. The Nice manager actually has been talking about Sir Jim possibly owning Manchester United. I don't have the. Do you have? Sorry, 1 second. I'll
No,
read the
I
quote out
just
for you
remember
there.
how Schmeichel went out and talked how good employment there was and bosses, and of course you're paid money.
Yeah,
That was
well,
just
this
a
is his
clear number.
exact quote. The boss has made such an investment in Nice. Sincerely, if he can give himself the gift of United, I'd be happy for him because we know it's something close to his heart. That, I don't know. I honestly, the PR rhetoric coming from the
Mm.
Radcliffe camp, it is in the back of my head. That tiny little bit is worrying, because why would you be doing this so much? This so much PR. How good an owner you would be if
Well,
you don't
listen,
have a chance of getting the product.
here's the thing.
That is a worry in my
At least you can
conscience.
come out to say, look, I tried, and I applaud you for trying. I applaud everyone that's put in a bid, including Thomas Siliakos, right, if he ever put in a bid. But I want to take this point what Lancel Jr. is saying. Great content. Qatar will never lose a battle, too much money. And that's the thing, right? When Qatar enters and announces in public, they were never going to lose. Just take a look at how they acquired PSG in the first place. They bought Neymar just to use that as a PR tool to later on acquire or get the World Cup, right? If they have the mind on a price set on the target, they will get it. And it's not an issue about money. They can, but they don't want to be taken to the cleaners, right? If you go in a bidding process, you don't go in all in straight away. They are not stupid. They're not stupid. But if it's push comes to shove, in any instance, if they get an indication that they're underbid, they're about to lose, on an instant they can just go like, here's an extra billion on top. This is what we're talking about: endless portfolio of richness, right? And something that Sir Jim cannot do, as most of his wealth is tied into assets. You got to look at the liquidity. So basically, what they have tried to compose is different alternatives, but as soon as they're competing with the Qatari, it's not state-backed, by the way, 92 Foundation, I think it's just game over, Red Rover. That's it. But at least you can come out to say, I tried. Big up. Just talking to different people here, like, Milos Mitic, I guess he's from Serbia by the name of, let me read this out. Jim je mnogo loš, Jim, okay, he says Jim, je mnogo loš poteš ako preuzeme Manchestera, a svaki dan novo vesti u vezu kupovanja kluba. Čas je kupio Qatar. Sutra Jim su više preterane realno rečne. Očekujem Qatar na kraju pobedi. That's my Serbian. I speak Serbian. I'm very bad at reading, Milos. I can speak a lot of languages. But what Milos is trying to say, he also thinks it's a lot of PR, and the only way he can see it's Qatar. That's it, right? So a lot of people
Well,
are.
apparently, another update while we're live, because it's always good. Apparently, Lipton has been on Talksport saying his source is extremely credible, and Sheikh Jasim could, but he does say Sheikh Jasim could outbid Radcliffe for the other four Glazers shares. So
Are you
I
guys
don't
drinking
know.
Lipton tea?
I need more tea. I need to, after this, go and listen to what Limpton's actually saying on Talksport, because I've heard
Okay.
some of his interviews before.
It's like a Polaroid picture. You come into existence and then you disappear. That's the thing. Everyone is using this as this is what pisses me off, right? It's Manchester United. It's our club. It's our family, right? And there's certain media and journalists that are not even supporters of Manchester United utilizing to, I don't know, for 1 minute fame. I don't take it that well, to be honest. Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff coming out in the next couple of days. I need something concrete.
Jamie's saying this channel is really good. I wish you were founded ages ago. Well, yeah, it's just founded 10 months ago, to be honest. And the reason why we founded this channel was to keep it real, right? Because at the end of the day, it's been such a great divide within the fan base. And the one that's been created is 100% the Glazers, because they never communicated. And we fans has been arguing amongst each other, like, player FC has been created and all that stuff. So our goal is just to make Manchester fan base great again. In a way, this is a community, just being real, allowing you to have real opinions without being cancelled. In today's society, everything's been scrutinized, cancelled, freedom of speech. It's just very unprecedented times at the moment. So, yeah, yeah. Let's see. I need some Varela. Could you read this comment? I can't see.
It would
It
make
would make
me
me so
so
sad.
sad as a lifelong United fan if these lizards stay attached to the club. Glazer lizards out, Sir
Yeah,
Jim stay out.
yeah.
Yeah, nobody wants the Glazers to be part of it,
Nobody
but
seems to want. Hmm.
nobody wants that.
Welcome to the community, Parfred. It's a false story. Yeah, 100%. I think Qatar will. It looks like a lot of people saying it's false. They're realizing this. Peter Jiris, all the way from Manila. I think you were working there. I think you're calling in from Philippines, if I remember. Milosh again. Glazers out. Yeah, Glazers out, Qatar in. God, I'm trying to practice all my language skills. Difficult. Right. So, guys, there's a lot of comments here. Guys, thank you for interacting. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Because at the end of the day, we're just trying to sort of calm things down. Afternoon all. Yeah, afternoon all to you. We're just trying to calm things down and just put it to a realistic perspective, right? So at the end of the day, just calm down, keep your powder dry, and use your common sense, use your logic and reasoning, and just scrutinize everything that you hear, right? From whatever comes
Even
out
from
from
us.
now, even from us, yeah. Don't take us on a face value, but we are just trying to provide you a platform of alternative way of looking at things, because we look at the finances, we follow the dots and trails, and whatever we find, we are presenting to you. Paul, thank you so much. And that's about it for today, I think. We have a game to play. Let's not forget. When do you think in realistic we will hear something?
Optimistic by Friday. Realistic, probably not until next week now. I think it's new. I was going to go along with Friday. Friday was earmarked as my date of before I hit the panic button, but
I wouldn't
there's
hit the
nothing.
panic button.
There's nothing yet. I think it's just going to drop. I expect it to drop before. I expected it to drop
I
before
wish I can
Friday.
play this soundtrack. This is a song, "Drop It Like a Bomb," drop it like a
Yeah.
bomb, and it will be like a bomb. It's just a basic. It will be the scoop of the century for some of these journalists, right? It will be. It is the biggest franchise sale of any club, and it's going to be a record um, deal
Problem
because
is
we don't
nobody's going to
know.
get the scoop on it. Yeah, nobody's going to
No,
get the scoop.
no,
It's a public
I don't think
traded
so.
company.
I
Yeah,
think it will be following, and this is my analysis on it. I think, as I said earlier, Rain Group's responsibility is to formalize that statement together with the Glazers, and it will be released through the public website or something, or will be hold a press conference for the Manchester United PLC.
it would even be. I don't think they even do that. That literally all that will happen is the deal's agreed. They submit the documents to the SEC. That goes up on their public website as soon as that document's released. There's a load of financial people
Yeah,
that watch that website, watch them documents go in because it has to be
yeah.
public information, and the ball will roll from there. The club have no statement to release
Hmm.
because the club technically are not involved in this process because the club aren't selling themselves. The shareholders of the club are selling their shares. So United aren't going to put a statement out until the new regime comes in and takes control. Could be a leak from the
Yeah,
Premier League, to be totally honest, once they get the
can
official
be.
documents for a fit and proper test. It could
Yeah,
come from anywhere. All I know is it's not going to come from sports journalists. They're going to be the last ones to
yeah,
report on it. Unless they're
yeah.
sports finance journalists, two different
Hej då
types.
Jonathan, ha en underbar dag, ha det bra, ta det lugnt, simma lugnt, ha det bra, hej. Swedish, okay, like, Jesus, Mick is spinning all his language skills here, like, okay, everything will be all right, like Bob Marley, don't worry about a thing, everything's gonna be all right, right? So breaking news.
Everything shall be all right.
Everything should be all right. So big up for everyone that's came in here to talk. And at the end of the day, it's therapy session for people as well, isn't it, Paul? Right? This is the way I see it, because it's common. Everyone is on edge. Everyone is looking constantly on, the phones. My DMs. I wish I could reply to everyone, and I love to, but just don't have time. That's the thing, and that's why I said, Paul, let's just do this. Let's just do this, and just explain. But hopefully, next time we see each other, will be something more sweeter.
Yeah, hopefully.
In terms of, hopefully. Guys, we will let you back to your day. This has been Mick Ruby and Paul White Report. Paul, where can they find you, sir?
Oh, I've actually put my tag on it now on Twitter.
You did.
I've actually
On Twitter.
learned how to put that on. Yeah, just on Twitter. I don't have any other. My DMs are open. I do try to respond to as many people as I can, but usually when something big breaks, I do not have time, or I'm working.
Yeah, the same here. Me, you can always find me here on this channel, keeping it real. Paul also come here once in a while on Twitter as well. My handle is right there under. Try to DM me. I try to respond to everyone, but it's I just don't want to be a chat GTP, if you know what I mean. I want to be real. I want to respond to everyone, but it's been getting too much. The only way I see it right now, according to my opinion, is full sale only, and hopefully we will get something within this next couple of weeks, 1 or 2. I don't see this being dragging on any further. And glazers out 100%. Love life to every one of you. Keep the flame going, and don't stop protesting. Don't stop tweeting glazers out, because keep the pressure on people. Guys, have a lovely Thursday, and see you on Saturday, because we're playing actually Wolves. And don't forget, we
I
are
believe we had a week rest.
We did. Hopefully
Yeah.
we should fire, and hopefully we will have a great result. We need all the 3 points to solidify that top 4, because that's what matters. So this takeover is just distracting us. Paul, thank you so much for coming in, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day. Same goes to you all, people. Be nice to each other on social. Don't let the media bugs bite you. Just stay cool and composed, and see you to the next time. Bye for now, people. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow us on the socials.